The red plates are for testing the efficiency of the suspension. Motors automatically start up and then shut off, while a computer measures the oscillations of the suspension, as can be seen on the graph. Whilst this equipment isn't yet mandatory, it can be used for advice and also for weighing the vehicle for brake efficiency calculations. It's self-calibrating, weighs the vehicle, checks the suspension efficiency and also the imbalance across the axle. The results are on screen and can be printed if required. An automated test lane consists of two principal and familiar bits of kit, both of which have been enhanced. The hoist or pit, which we'll look at in a minute, and the roller brake tester. This roller brake tester has the ability to self-calibrate every time the unit is switched on. While this benefits consistency, the equipment will still require its mandatory 6-month certificated calibration. The rollers start automatically. Then the tester follows the prompts on the screen. Both wheels are run together throughout the brake test, and the inspection manual will be amended to allow for this time-saving procedure with ATLs. The suspension tester fitted to this lane has the facility to weigh the vehicle, and this can be used to calculate the brake efficiency on Class 3 and 4 vehicles. Alternatively, some makes of roller brake tester have the ability to automatically weigh vehicles. The weight of the vehicle as presented is used by the machine. However, this doesn't apply to Class 7s, where the design gross weight must be used. At the end of the test, the machine will print out the details of the brake performance, which can be given to the presenter. However, the tester must then enter the results on the VTS device. In Britain, the MOT scheme is always having to keep up with changing technology to ensure vehicles are tested effectively. As part of the modernization process, ATLs, automated test lanes, will soon be a choice that test stations can make when equipping themselves. Budapest in Hungary, a country which joined the European Union in 2004. One of the entry requirements was a vehicle testing scheme. Hungary's was already well established. Like many countries, Hungary has made vehicle testing a prime component in their strategies for road safety. This is the test station at Pomaz, on the outskirts of Budapest. Vehicles are inspected for the majority of items tested in Britain, but the big difference is that, as in many European test stations, they use an automated test lane.
Magyarországon a közlekedési hatóság felelős a
In Hungary, the General Inspectorate of Transport is in charge of the periodic testing of vehicles.
belül 1,5 millió jármű.
Approximately 1.5 million vehicles are tested in each year, including cars, lorries and buses.
Autóbuszokat, stb.
Roughly half of these vehicles are seen at testing facilities of the local county inspectorate of transport.
Szervezeti formáját. Ennek a 1,5 millió jármű.
In addition, we have 35 of our own technical test facilities.
Tehát a megyei közlekedési felügyeletek saját műszaki vizsgabázisain vizsgázik. 35 műszaki vizsgabázisunk van saját.
Approximately 30% of vehicles are tested at garages.
A fennmaradó rész, tehát az összes...
Here they are prepared for the test on site, and when there are 5 to 10 vehicles ready to be tested, perhaps once or twice a week, the garage makes a phone call to the local inspectorate of transport.
Egy 5-10 jármű, amelyik vizsgázik, akkor hát ez általában...
An inspector is then sent out to the garage, so it is our own staff that tests the vehicles.
A megyei közlekedési felügyeletnek, ahonnan egy vizsgabiztos kollega kimegy, és a saját emberünk, tehát a saját vizsgabiztosunk vizsgáztatja le a járművet.
In the case of 20% of vehicles, these are located mostly at major dealers, such as Opel or Mercedes.
nagy márkaképviseletek.
Here we have put a member of their staff in charge of testing.
Relatíve nagy a járműszám, ott egy ottani dolgozót bíztunk mi meg a vizsgáztatásra.
This employee acts on our behalf. He has to pass an examination with us. And as a result, testing is done by a representative of the Inspectorate of Transport.
Hatósági dolgozó végzi a műszaki vizsgáztat.
In the case of the biggest group of vehicles, passenger cars, new ones have to undergo testing for the first time after 4 years.
Először 4 éves korában kell, hogy műszaki vizsgálat.
Following this, testing is carried out every 2 years, and in the case of vehicles older than 10 years, testing is repeated annually.
Évente.
Magyarországon az első automata.
The first automated test lane in Hungary was installed in 1996 at the Sziget-Szent Miklós test station of the Pest County Inspectorate of Transport.
1996-ban. Az automata.
We had 2 goals with the installation and development of automated test lanes. The first one was to shorten the duration of the test. The second, to exclude the subjective element. The aim was to reduce to the minimum those occasions when the tester had to make a subjective judgment.
Az automata vizsgások nagy mértékben.
Automated test lanes have greatly boosted our efficiency.
Itt elértük azt, hogy a vizsgálaton.
We have only one person involved in the test, and he can conduct all the elements without any help.
Nélkül az összes technológiailag előírt megvizsgálást el tudja végezni.
Also, the logging of the data makes it possible to create any kind of statistical summary in the future.
Ad a későbbiek során bármilyen statisztika elkészítésére.
Most az, hogy esetleg
To my mind, the fact that different test equipment or machines are used for testing is to a certain extent natural.
értelemben természetes, olyan kötelező előírást nem lehet.
People cannot be made to use only one kind of equipment, but the parameters that need looking at in the test can be checked by all these machines in the same way, regardless of age.
Vizsgálni, mint az egyébként ennél korszerűbbek. Ez a dolog egyik része, a dolog másik része.
This is one part of the story. The other part is, if these machines are connected to computers, it makes it easier to carry out testing and the logging of tests.
A nyilvántartását. Számítógépnél
Of course, you can carry out testing without computers as well, but it takes longer.
mi próbálunk a számítógépes
We are trying to move towards testing by computers, and I believe we will achieve this goal in a few years' time.
el is fogunk tudni idáig jutni.
Természetesen fokozták.
The quality of testing has improved because the subjective aspects are almost entirely eliminated.
Kiküszöbölték. Mondhatom, hogy 100%-ig megbízható.
I would say that the system is 100% reliable.
Nyerte a tetszését. Tudniillik itt a
Car owners have come to like it because subjective judgment is largely eliminated,
objektív képet kap az
and the owner gets an objective picture about the state of his or her vehicle from the printout of the measured data that we give them.
neki, és azt megkapja.
Well, automated test lanes are all part of modernising the scheme, the MOT scheme. It meets changing technology both in equipment and in vehicles, and they allow an efficient and effective operation by allowing one-man testing. The advantages are that this machinery is self-calibrating. It is easy to operate, and you don't need to take an assistant off another job to help out as an assistant in the MOT test. They will help with the consistency. It has an automatic start facility for the roller brake tester, and that runs both wheels together on the same axle. Also, there are automatic wheel plate detectors, and they help you check steering and suspension. It will save you time. It will help testers make decisions, because, for example, the wheel plate detectors apply the same force to every wheel every time. You may use an assistant if that's what you need to do to carry out an effective test. Well, as usual, you will need an exhaust gas analyzer, diesel smoke meter, and the normal minor tools. You will need a bit of equipment, that's a hoist or a pit, which will be able to be fitted with wheel plate detectors. You'll need an automated roller brake tester, automatic start roller brake tester, headlamp aim equipment, mirrors to check the lights, and an axle weighing facility. And that can be part of the suspension tester, which normally comes with the roller brake tester as part of the ATL package.
The red plates are for testing the efficiency of the suspension. Motors automatically start up and then shut off, while a computer measures the oscillations of the suspension as can be seen on the graph. Whilst this equipment isn't yet mandatory, it can be used for advice and also for weighing the vehicle for brake efficiency calculations. It's self-calibrating, weighs the vehicle, checks the suspension efficiency and also the imbalance across the axle. The results are on screen and can be printed if required. An automated test lane consists of two principal and familiar bits of kit, both of which have been enhanced. The hoist or pit, which we'll look at in a minute, and the roller brake tester. This roller brake tester has the ability to self-calibrate every time the unit is switched on. While this benefits consistency, the equipment will still require its mandatory 6-month certificated calibration. The rollers start automatically. Then the tester follows the prompts on the screen. Both wheels are run together throughout the brake test, and the inspection manual will be amended to allow for this time-saving procedure with ATLs. The suspension tester fitted to this lane has the facility to weigh the vehicle, and this can be used to calculate the brake efficiency on Class 3 and 4 vehicles. Alternatively, some makes of roller brake tester have the ability to automatically weigh vehicles. The weight of the vehicle as presented is used by the machine. However, this doesn't apply to Class 7s, where the design gross weight must be used. At the end of the test, the machine will print out the details of the brake performance, which can be given to the presenter. However, the tester must then enter the results on the VTS device. Mirrors are used for the lighting part of the test and allow the tester to see all the lights from the driver's seat. And of course, using mirrors means that there is no longer a need for an assistant to operate all the lights. Incidentally, the lamps that need to be tapped can be left on while the tester walks round the vehicle doing the topside test. The headlamp aim test is carried out in the usual way, although once ATLs and one-person testing are fully approved, there'll no longer be a need to use an assistant. Another device that means that the assistant can be dispensed with is this tool. It's for applying pressure to the service brake. It works by placing it between the seat and the brake pedal. Constant pressure is applied to the service brake so the tester can carry out the necessary checks to the brake system without an assistant. At the same time, under the bonnet, steering and suspension can be checked, also without an assistant. While the park brake still needs to be checked, the requirement for an assistant to operate it as part of this inspection is to be removed from the manual. With the brake pressure tool still applied, the steering plate detector is operated on the near side road wheel. Because the offside wheel sits on a stationary plate, load is maintained on the steering components, and the tester will be able to see their condition, security, and operation. Having completed the steering checks, the tester then operates the offside wheel plate detector plate. As the plate is operated, the tester is able to examine both the front and rear suspension components and all relevant load-bearing members. As the controls for the wheel plate detectors are remotely operated, the tester has the freedom to move around the vehicle while conducting the necessary checks. With the brake system continuously under pressure, the tester can examine the pipes and hoses either during or after the suspension checks. While testers can use their own preferred routine, the one recommended in the inspection manual can be carried out in the same order with an ATL. No new special emissions equipment is required with ATLs. Existing machines for both petrol and diesel engines can continue to be used as normal. ATLs may in the future fit in with computerization, with the roller brake tester and other equipment being linked to a smart card reader, for instance, which the tester will insert into the VTS device at the end of the test. If an existing test station decides to invest in ATL equipment, there'll be some small changes to the dimension requirements of the test bay. These will soon be added to Section D of the testing guide. ATLs are versatile, and some have additional features. For example, this one has the ability to raise a vehicle so all the wheels hang free.
Automated test lanes are easy to operate. It makes life simpler for the authorised examiner and the nominated tester. It will improve testing standards and essentially make the road safer for everybody.